Welcome back to MK World of Stories, where we share powerful, uplifting stories and life lessons to inspire your journey. Today's story will show you how even small actions can create big changes, especially when life feels overwhelming. Stick with us until the end because this story might just shift your perspective on challenges and dreams. If you love stories that motivate and inspire, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that can help transform your outlook on life. Let's dive in.
In a quiet village nestled between the hills lived a young man named Daniel. From an early age, Daniel dreamed of becoming an inventor. He would spend hours sketching gadgets and ideas in an old, tattered notebook his grandfather had gifted him. However, life in the village was simple, and resources were scarce. Daniel didn't have access to modern tools or expensive materials. As he grew older, the weight of his circumstances started to press down on him. He thought, how can I ever build something great with so little? One day, an elderly neighbor named Mr. Thompson stopped by to visit. He noticed Daniel looking troubled and asked him what was wrong. Daniel sighed and explained how he felt stuck. His dreams weighed down by the lack of proper resources. Mr. Thompson listened patiently, then shared a piece of advice that had been passed down to him. Do what you can with what you have where you are. At first, Daniel brushed it off. He thought to himself, that sounds nice, but it doesn't help me build an invention. Still, the words lingered in his mind. The more he thought about it, the more he began to wonder if he could make something, anything, with what he already had. The next morning, Daniel decided to give it a try. He rummaged through his small workshop and gathered all the bits and pieces he could find. Old gears, broken springs, scrap wood, and leftover metal parts. It wasn't much, but he started working with it anyway. Every day, he made small progress. At first, it was just connecting a few gears and springs, trying to create something that moved. Then, with trial and error, he began shaping a crude machine, nothing like the sleek gadgets he had always envisioned. But it worked. Slowly, his confidence grew. Weeks passed, and his neighbors began to take notice of the strange sounds coming from his workshop. Curiosity drew them in, and one by one, they visited to see what Daniel was up to. What they found surprised them. With limited resources, Daniel had built a small wind-powered generator out of recycled materials. It was simple, yet efficient, enough to power a few lights in his house. Word spread through the village, and soon people began visiting Daniel's workshop, asking if he could help them fix their old tools or build something similar. Daniel's once simple dream began to take shape. He wasn't inventing for the world just yet, but he was creating something meaningful in his community. Over time, his skills improved, and his small wind-powered generators became a common sight in the village. His work wasn't flashy, but it was practical, and more importantly, it made a difference. Years later, when Daniel looked back on his journey, he realized that Mr. Thompson's advice had changed his life. The key to his success wasn't about having the latest tools or the perfect conditions. It was about starting where he was and using what he had. If he had waited for better resources, he might still be waiting. Instead, by embracing his limitations, he had discovered new possibilities. One afternoon, while sitting on his porch overlooking the village, Daniel wrote in his old notebook, "Do what you can with what you have where you are." He had heard those words years ago, but now he understood them deeply. Life rarely offers perfect conditions, but it always offers opportunities if you're willing to take the first step. Daniel's story spread beyond the village, inspiring others to stop waiting for ideal circumstances and to start working with whatever they had in front of them. He never became the famous inventor he once dreamed of being, but in his heart, he knew he had accomplished something far greater. He had made a difference right where he was, using what he had all along. The lesson of Daniel's story is a reminder that success doesn't always come from ideal conditions or abundant resources. It comes from taking action, no matter how small, and making the most of what's available. Sometimes the greatest achievements begin with humble efforts, born out of necessity and a willingness to start where you are.